Guys, are you bored? Oh my goodness. Today, I've got a hook for you. That is a hook. Yeah, check that out. Phenomenal. These are some of the things that I used in my last short-term rental. And I want to actually talk about not just making something significant, but why not make something significant? If you're going to do something anyway, you might as well figure out what's the story behind it. Why can I make this mean more than just doing the thing? Because anyone can be successful. You just completed the task. But if you want to be significant, there's a story behind it. So this last week, I took down a rental. It was over in South Jordan, Utah. And I had a lot of material that had bees in it. Not just bees, but just I love bee themes. If you look over here, you've got hexagons and all that. The name of my company is Stay B&B. You're like, okay, I see that. But I also, in this specific unit, had a lot of butterflies. I used to have my buddy Parker and we built that together because he's one of the wholesale butterfly salesmen that I know in the area in Utah. But as I was putting this unit together in Ephraim, Utah, I started thinking, how can I make this mean more than just butterflies making it look pretty? Because it does look pretty cool. And I thought back, what does a butterfly mean to me? And I thought of my mom. She was Miss Snow in 1976. And when she passed away this last year, she used to say this all the time, that movement is life. Movement is life. It's such a beautiful expression, but this idea of having movement. And then the last few months of her life, she was restricted to her bed. She got paralyzed from the waist down. And that was a really hard thing for her and for all of us. It was extremely challenging, but at one moment, she shared this insight with me about how movement, yes, it is life, but when she was paralyzed, she said, I feel like a caterpillar that just started that cocoon. And after a little while, it feels like when this body is done, I get to go turn and transform into a butterfly. So I'm just waiting to transform. And then in June last year, when she passed away, one of the things we did was we ordered a bunch of butterflies from my friend Parker, and we brought them down to the graveside. It had yellow butterflies and white ones, and then these yellow white monarchs that had the black coloring. It was just beautiful. And when we released these hundreds of butterflies, they just fluttered everywhere, got on the grass, and they looked like flowers just fluttering in the wind. And every time I think of butterflies now, I think of my mom. So when I was putting this unit together, I said, how can I not just have this be a cute design, but how can I dedicate this to my mom and to make this mean something more, that it can be significant? So I named the unit Miss Snow Butterfly. I was like, that's kind of a fun way to think about this. But my mom, she raised 5 Eagle Scouts and another Miss Snow. This was significant because every single one of us at times will have things that remind us of other people. And when I put this unit together this last week, it took me almost 3 full days to get all these different types of butterfly things and stage it the way that I wanted. It made it mean way more than just looking pretty. A lot of times we can be successful if we just do the bare minimum. We say, this is what has to happen. I'm going to make it look nice. I feel like anybody can make something look nice or even be nice, have the right functionality, or form meets function. But significance is derived from the story that's behind it. My very first unit that I ever put together was with my mom. My second one, my third one, every single one that I've done until this last week was with her. I didn't know it at the time, but a few different reasons why I hadn't been building out more units was my mom wasn't around anymore. I didn't feel that drive to go get more and to make them pretty anymore. I just wanted to make sure that my short-term rentals were as good as I could with what I already had. But this week, I felt like I had that fire reignited in me because it wasn't just about me anymore. It was about how do I provide the very best service possible and a story behind it. You think about it. What does this mean for you? If you are doing something in your work, there is the completion, which is just a check mark. Yes, I did it. And then there's, why did it matter? Why does it matter for you? Why does it matter for your customers? Why does it matter for anybody else? And if you can clearly translate that idea for somebody else, it matters because now you can transform your life. Now, if you come to my short-term rental, you have a really beautiful experience. You get to have some of the values that my mother instilled in me of cleanliness, of detail orientation, of making sure that you have all of the things you need and some of the things that are just exciting and fun. You get to explore with all of the different elements of your life. When you are in that, you can also have a transformative experience because it's not just a commodity, because there's so many different people that do what I do. There's lots of short-term rental hosts. There's even a lot of other super hosts that probably have more than 650 five-star reviews like I do. But the difference is, if you want to just do something or have someone that does something that's similar, that's fine. That's being someone that is successful. But if you want to be significant, you say, you know what? I don't want just any short-term rental, right? I don't want to just have any experience. I want to have an experience with you. That is a massive difference. So why make it significant? Because if you can attach a story to whatever it is that you're doing, this will improve your sales. This will improve your opportunity to connect with different people. And it makes it more meaningful, not just for you, but for all the people that are coming and experiencing your products, your services, or just interacting with you. How you are on and off stage, that's what really matters. A lot of times people only think about, what's the presentation that I have to put out? Because I can stage a unit and make it really pretty, but there might not be meaning behind it. Now, this one, when I focused on creating meaning, I had a lot more fun, and I thought a lot more intentionally about what are the things that would honor my mother's memory and honor all of those people that are coming and staying with me. Now, you may not be in a position where you are going to be putting together a short-term rental. That's not the point. The point is, whatever you're doing in your life, if you look for the stories, the experiences that have value that you can pass on, suddenly it's not just significant. It is something that allows you to shift your perspective from this was successful to this is meaningful. This is amazing. This is significance. Now, one of the things that I wanted to take away from this was, about a week before my mom passed away, she said, you know, when you go to the temple, that's where I'm going to be. I want to make sure that if you are worried, if you're frustrated, if whatever is going on in your life and you want to have access to me, you got to go to the temple because that's where I'm going to be. And this unit is a little less than 1 mile from the temple. I open up the blinds and I can literally see the Ephraim temple there. Every single one of us have things that are in our view, but if we don't look for them, it isn't meaningful. Because I was actually really hesitant to get this unit because right at the base of this unit, if you look down, there is a trailer park. And you can see the roofs of the trailer park, and sometimes their yard isn't put together really beautifully. But when you look up and straight out and even up a little bit close to the mountain where there's that big S, you see the temple. And isn't that like life? If we focus on only the ground, on what's below us, suddenly we look for those negative things and we're looking down. It doesn't fulfill us, doesn't inspire us. But when we look up and we look to the temple, we go farther enough or far enough out to see that this is something that I want and I aspire to. That's the power. That's the amazing idea here, that instead of having that be a negative, it actually is something that I feel inspired by, because this is part of life. You get the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. Every single one of us have that opportunity to look for the good and find it. If we don't look, we will not find it. If we only look down, we'll see the trailer park and the put together yards and all the junk there. But when we look far enough, we can see, wow, this is something that's meaningful. What does this mean for you? When you are in a frustration or some type of state where you don't feel like it's worth it, what do you do to make those experiences mean something? What do? You have to look for the meaning. You have to find, why is it significant? Because in a few years, your life's over. Today is 13,101 days for me. At the end of the day, it's gone. We don't get another. That's done. And then hopefully tomorrow I get 13,102 and keep going. Every single one of us have those moments where we get to realize, is this the day where I can look back to and say, wow, that was the day where things shifted for me. That was the day where things are totally different. Or are we just going to let it go? Now, I know that all of you want to be more successful in your storytelling. You want to be better in all different facets of life. But you only really have today. We might get tomorrow, but there's no guarantee of that. So for me, I hope that this story was helpful for you and that you can go and find some things that you find significant. And as you make them mean something, it will be able to transform your life, just like that caterpillar to a butterfly. Every single one of us have those. So if you want to check out that unit, definitely go to Airbnb. It's going to go live today at the end of the day. So that'll be really exciting. I'll make sure to put the link in the comments. You can also see how beautiful that is. Go check out that. It's on staybnb.com. They're the website that I've been using to sponsor this podcast. This is 149 episodes. Believe that or not, guys, this is what I'm meant to do. I'm so grateful to be a speaker and to help as best I can inspire, uplift, and build more and more opportunities for people to get better. When you make it significant, it means something. And as you respond to things, not just think about and react, but you respond and say, you know what, this is something that's meaningful to me and to others, your life will forever be different. We don't want to just change. That's like taking a triangle and rotating it. You change the orientation. But if you want to transform, you look for the significant moments. You look for the story and you expand upon that story. You make it mean something. So just like I said in that very beginning, when you look to the temple, when you look up, rather than just look down, you look to where you want to go and where you want to be, there will be elements of your life that will continue to change and get better. I hope this was helpful, guys. Go check out that unit. I'll put it in the comments and you'll be able to see it later tonight. Have a great rest of your day and God bless.